The language was pretty evocative, but he clearly meant what he said. And there are people looking at food supplies out of Ukraine. Even if they can grow the food, they're going to struggle to export it. And it may not affect us here in terms of shortages, yes, prices, but in other parts of the world, the impact will be greater still.
That's absolutely right. So I think it clearly is an exaggeration and perhaps unwise language to talk about apocalyptic impacts in the UK. We will have to pay more for our food. That will create real hardship for some people, but it is obviously not on the scale of the impacts in places like Sri Lanka, where there is a genuine economic crisis and spiraling food prices at places like Egypt and so on. But yes, this is very much a global crisis. We are feeling the impacts, but we are better off than a lot of places and a lot of people.
One thing that came across listening to Andrew Bailey was almost a sense of impotence from him. You know, our central bankers are used to pulling levers and things happening. You got a sense that he just felt almost powerless.
Well, that's true. I mean, central banks' job is to manage demand in the economy, and thereby to control inflation when it is driven by excess demand, or indeed where there's not enough inflation because we don't have enough demand. What central bankers can't do, obviously, is control supply. They can't control the oil supply. They can't control the food and grain supplies and so on. Equally, so I think that the bank is, in some sense, cannot control this. It can reduce inflation, but only at the cost of inflicting yet more pain on all of us.